Hello everyone, my name is Elizaveta. Welcome to WelcomeTech channel. Today we will be talking about the stage 2 of the global talent visa. We will do like a detailed review of what we are going to do in the second stage. We don't talk about that much, unfortunately, and it really deserves more attention than we give it. But the reason behind that is basically that we talk a lot about the endorsements on stage 1, the rejections. We talk a lot about how to improve your case and so on and so forth. And we do not talk about the stage 2 because we have about 100% of success rate on stage 2. Literally, we have been working with the global talent visa for 4 years, and we had never had a negative result on stage 2, though we had different cases and difficult cases and not very eligible cases and so on and so forth. A lot of different people, but still we never had problems on stage 2. The only thing is, of course, to apply for stage 2 in a right way, in a correct way, and to be sure you will get your to be sure you will get your positive feedback, you need to know some nuances, right? You need to know details. You need to know things that are generally not that obvious. So this is why today we will cover some of them, not all of them. And if you're interested, we may make like part 2. But if you, for example, got your endorsement, this will be extremely helpful, I think. So first things first, the global talent visa is a residence permit that is given to people in IT field or arts and culture field or science field for 5 years, and you will be able to get your British passport after at least 5 years. You can also relocate to family members and get them a right to work too, and they will always also be granted a passport after some time. So how does it look like? After you got your endorsement, you will need to collect some documentation. Usually it's your endorsement letter, the endorsement that you got, the passport, the tuberculosis test. Sometimes if you're from the country where you need this, you will need to provide it. You can actually take this tuberculosis is in almost like every capital out there, but still I will provide a link with countries that need tuberculosis tests. So if you have been living for the last 6 months in this country, you will need to provide the tuberculosis test. For your family members, you will need to provide their passport, marriage certificate if it's your spouse, and proof of relationship. Now spouses, they also need to provide proof of relationship. If it's your partner, it's a passport and proof of relationship. If it's your child, it's passport and like the birth certificate. And also sometimes you will need to provide like the letter of consent. So both parents agree on the fact that this child is getting a visa. And then there are factors that depend on the relativeness of you and this child. For example, if it's your biological child, you will need to only provide this. If it's your for example, your spouse's child, you will need to provide some other documentation, but we will not talk about that in detail today. We can make a separate video if you are interested. So what will you need to do after you collect your documentation? You will need to file the questionnaire on the GovUK site, and after that you will need to pay your NHS fee, your visa fee, and then you will need to book an appointment in the visa center. It's whether VFS or TLS. There is no difference between them usually. It's just a provider. But still, sometimes it's important to whether and basically like the documentation packet will be the same almost, depending on the type of the visa center. It just depends on the country actually. So what will you need to take with you on this visa center appointment? It depends, again, on the type of appointment you got. There is an assisted service and self-service. If it's self-service, you do not need to bring anything except your passport. You upload everything to their website. If it's assisted service, they will help you to print out the documentation and they will apply it themselves. Of course, it's easier to upload that, but sometimes the self-service is not available, and in some countries, or you need to wait for a really long time to get your self-service. This is why assisted service works very well. Again, when you are paying for NHS and your visa fee, how does it happen? You will just have like this thing in your browser, which is like a typical thing when you pay online. You will need to provide your card information and code and just a telephone code and just the typical thing, It's a WorldPay, if I'm not mistaken. Every card will go, except for we had cases from people, for example, in Russia, right, who had their cards banned, and it's not possible to pay with these cards that are banned right now. But still, most of the cards, they work. So how do I take my tuberculosis test? You will just need to call the clinic. There is like this, the link that I have talked about before. It has the addresses and the numbers of clinics. In most of the clinics, you can just go there and provide a test. You don't need even to have an appointment. Sometimes you need to have an appointment. You need to call them and get this information from them, actually. And it's very easy. Sometimes it just takes a little bit like a couple of days to do that. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks, but still, it doesn't take a long time usually. Again, the important question about the services of the visa centers. They have their own services, which is like, of course, like a typical fee for application, especially if it's an assisted services, has a fee. But there are some also important things that you need to mention. Especially, I would like to focus on Keep My Passport. Keep My Passport is a great thing and a great service. It does not cost a lot of money, and I think everyone who's applying for the global talent visa needs that because even I had problems with the absence of the Keep My Passport. I didn't take this service and I had to apply for another visa, and I had my passport in the visa center for 6 weeks. And really, it was such a big problem. And if I had this Keep My Passport thing, I would just keep my passport while they're processing my visa and I could have applied. Right. But yeah, I lost this opportunity, a very great opportunity. And I hope you will not do that. So please Keep My Passport. And then I think the last question that I want to cover here is how to prove your relationship or your marriage. As I said, now even if you are married, you will need to provide the proof of your relationship. And if you are not married and with your partner and you want to apply, of course you will need to prove that too. How to do that? We can make a separate video again about that. It's a very, very wide topic, but generally it's like some kind of rental agreements, tickets, maybe some transactions to each other, proof of the fact that you have lived together for the last 2 years, and like of other kind. Maybe you there is even like some friends, or like letters from friends, and so on and so forth, right? Or maybe even like your messages to each other. For example, you message her, can you please write, I don't know, a toilet paper or something like that. Can you please buy some bread? Can you please, there is a problem with the sink, it's broken. Can you please call someone to get it fixed? So some kind of evidence that proves that you have lived together. This is very important to prove that you haven't been together, right? But you have lived together. And this is something that you need to focus on. Right. So these are basically the basic things. And these are like the basic questions But there are much more of them. So if you're interested, I will make a part 2. And if you're interested in getting your global talent visa, please sign up for free consultation. We will be happy to assist you and to help you with that. Thank you so much and have a great day. Goodbye.